Well, today I want to talk about relationships and how peace changes everything in our perception and our connection with people and situations and with ourselves. We are born in a society, in a family that have different perspectives of the experience. So we can either imitate that behavior because we think is something secure for us and can bring us confidence in life, in our experience, or we can reject that because we consider that's not what we want and that's not a way of living. So what we do is just build a mindset, and when we decide from peace, we no longer need a mindset because our mind just needs to surrender to the present, to experience the present as it is. So when we start deciding from peace, we stop thinking about these mental models that makes us feel safe, because our mind is constantly seeking that safety in order to have maybe in a way a more peaceful experience. But it's actually a contradiction because we don't feel at peace while our mind is working in a constantly active way without considering peace. So actually our mind should be just present, surrendering to peace and just being here right now. And when we try to make some proper mindsets to our purpose, we are gonna manifest relationships that are aligned to it. So for example, I want to get married by years old, I want to have babies by years old, or I want to be successful by 24, whatever the case. We are gonna connect to people that are aligned to that mindset. So if the mindset is strong, we can have a very long-lasting relationship. But if the mindset is not that strong and at some point it's just, okay, I don't want that anymore, we're not gonna feel like we want that. So the relationship, the society, whatever we build based on that is gonna break because it no longer serves our purpose. So it's different from peace because we don't have the expectation and the purpose because we're just experiencing present. So our mind just relax and let everything flows the way it is, and that's it. I used to be a person seeking for independence, but at the same time trying to find safety in my relationships. So I was very lovely with people. I used to be there for everyone. I used to talk with a lot of different people. Like my cell phone was full of messages. I was always talking to someone, and I felt always available, because I thought that was safety for me. At that point I wasn't thinking about that. I was just flowing because I say, this is the way I need to act in order to get what I want. I want this, and I want that, so I'm gonna do this. It's coherent. But I realized that I was feeling a little overwhelmed at times, a little irritated with myself when I was talking to someone or experiencing some situation or relationship. And I started to realize that I was able to make decisions from whatever perspective I want, just because my mind is always gonna give me the reason and say you're right. So if I see that from this point of view, I'm gonna act like this, but if I see the other point of view, I say, oh, okay, you're right, you can do this way. So I say, okay, there's something within when I don't need to see the perspective. I just need to relax and feel it. That's when I realize how I felt when I think about peace. So when I decide right now from peace, I get a totally different result because I have no expectations at all. I'm just flowing along with peace. Sometimes I don't know why or what for, but I just act on, because it feels natural, it feels organical. I don't want to say, okay, you're right because you're doing this. No, and I don't feel like I'm being a good person or a bad person. Sometimes my expression, what I say, what I manifest, may be uncomfortable for the situation, for the person, but we end up talking about something more profound, and it feels like we just let something flow that was hiding or something. So it is something very present. We're not expecting something specifically. I'm not visiting or talking to people because I need them to do something for me or because I need to feel safe. It's just because I feel at peace. So if I feel at peace, at any moment I can give someone a call and have a coffee, and it's okay. But actually it makes what's essential stay, and anything else just disappear from my experience. Not because of disagreements or because I don't like them or something like that. It's just because I don't feel like talking to them or like reaching out, just because I feel at peace being with myself and with what's essential and what's part of my experience from the frequency of peace. So it doesn't matter if we decide to live a life one way or the other. Our peace is always gonna be there, trying to tell us, hey, this is not what you should be doing from this frequency, and you're gonna feel uncomfortable, and probably your mind is gonna say, no, it's all right, we want this, so it doesn't matter. But when we know there's a natural way of relating to ourselves and to the world, we can make the decision to decide from the frequency of peace in the present and see how our lives are different. It doesn't mean we're gonna reject what already exists. It means we're gonna relate in a more truthful way to everything and everyone that exists. So that's it. I hope you realize that too, and you decide from now on from peace in the present and discover the peaceful life you are able to have, just because you decide, you consciously decide from the frequency of peace in the present.